All right, just wait a few minutes, make sure everything's working, that we have audio. See if people jump on here. It is Saturday night. I am tired. What's going on? We got some people jumping in now. I just got the email alert that I went live, so I figure other people will get the same email. We'll get some other people jumping on here. What's going on, guys? Justin, Emmanuel, Gibson, Nick, Jose, Caleb, Fernando, Big Joe. What's going on? I hope everybody's having a great Friday night. I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay. We're going to do this anyway. I shouldn't be tired. I just got back from vacation. What's going on, Eric Caps? Newton's very easy money. Yes, we spent a lot of easy money on vacation this week. So obviously I didn't say anything about it on the channel or Facebook or anything like that. I don't really want people to know when I'm on vacation or where I am, what I'm doing. But we were on vacation this past week. We are home now. Obviously, as the videos come in, you're going to be hearing me because they're, a couple weeks behind. You're going to be hearing me talk about vacation and, we're about to leave. And reality is vacation is now already over. We had a great time. We had a great time. Came back yesterday. What's going on? Did I say Friday night? Oh, sorry, people. I said Friday night. Saturday night. See, I told you I was tired. Saturday night. I put Saturday night on the description of the live though, so I'm gonna turn my phone off. I always make this mistake, and then everybody that knows me starts texting and calling, and you guys have seen that game before. Some people just, they just want me to say something about it in the live. They think it's cool or whatever, but that's all right. If that's what entertains you, so be it. But my phone is off. What's going on, Ohio? Jessica, thank you for joining. Tucker, Thomas, Bop, where's the merch and what's the website called? So let me address that first because I'm sure that question is going to be asked a lot. So I had a very custom website built. It was through a very good company here, local in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and it was kind of a new thing where they weren't necessarily used to doing it, but we needed to integrate the website with stamps.com, which is who I'm using for the shipping information. And when we went to sit down for our last meeting right before launch, we realized that the two were not going to integrate easily. And if I launched the website, we were going to have a major headache and a huge mess in our hands. So I told them to just delay it. So they are writing some code as we speak. So there's glitches, there's problems and all that. So I am ready to start. I've been ready to start, but there's a hiccup and I didn't want to launch it. We would have had an enormous amount of work. We would have had orders that came in and got lost and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be better off that we wait. I'm just being patient with this because I know once it starts and we're going good, it's going to be all worth it in the long run. Shout out to Rohit Kumar from San Francisco. If I butchered your name, I didn't mean to. So shout out to you. I won't say your name again. Thank you. Pizza Goat. I don't know. Names are hard, especially when they're just like made up names, some of them. Is Tino okay? Did he get hurt? So if you guys follow me on Facebook, that is like all updated information. So if you don't want to wait around, if there's something that you're just itching to know, head over to my Facebook page. It's Ryan Tomich, or you could head over to my business page, Victory Outdoor Services. But my personal page, Ryan Tomich, if you check things out over there, some of that stuff, I update, and you'll get the hint that, you'll get your answer basically is what I'm saying. You don't have to wait on YouTube. So just make sure that you follow me over there. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. But Tino is back. So you guys that are watching the live, I kind of spoiled it a little bit that Tino is back, but he is back. So I'm not going to mention like all the things he was going through, but they were very legitimate and difficult things he was dealing with. And yes, he was gone for quite a while, away from Victory for a while, but he didn't quit or anything like that. He wasn't mad about anything. It had nothing to do with his relationship with me or the business or anything. It was all on a personal level. that was just affecting, his ability to work. So he is back. Things are getting better in his life. So yeah, he's back working full time, and he's been showing up every day, and everything's going good. Zeppy Construction, hello from Northern California. Thank you for watching. Mara R3, my hubby and I love watching your YouTube. That's pretty cool. I hear that all the time. You get a lot of letters and emails. Families watch the channel. It's just not the like hardcore concrete dudes. And when I started the channel, that's kind of what I was going for. I didn't want just the hardcore concrete dudes to watch. I wanted a more broad audience. So I wanted to make it fun and entertaining, even for ladies to watch. There's definitely humor, and it's not like made up humor. I'm not trying to be a comedian or anything like that, because I'm not all that funny. But there's just a lot of funny stuff that happens on a regular basis. Every single day something's going on. The characters that I have are funny and unique for sure. The guys, Eric and Francisco and Tino and Bugs and my son Ryan Jr. And of course, Big Ray is always up to something. So it's always kind of entertaining. Shout out to Capman Stonework. What's going on, Ryan? Tino couldn't be in a better company when the chips are down. Hopefully, I'd like to think that. I try, I understand just being a boss for so many years. I've been through many, many, many guys. A lot of employees have come and gone, and I understand like pretty well the personal problems and issues that people have in their lives. So I try to be very understanding and patient. I get it. I totally get it. Trust me. Like, I'm not just some angel that's never had problems of my own. Of course I've had problems. I'm 46 years old. I've been through a lot. So I do try to be understanding and just patient with the guys and help them through. Vacation was super good. Thank you, Joshua, for asking that. You said that the baby cart. Yeah, Kevin, that was what editing software to use? Having issues editing GoPro into YouTube videos. You really shouldn't have any issues with your GoPro editing that footage on Final Cut. Anyways, I use Final Cut, and I don't have any issues with that. Just make sure that all your settings are right. Just watch a few YouTube videos about how to edit videos into Final Cut from your GoPros. And honestly, it's pretty simple. It is pretty simple. My son is uploading his next video tomorrow. He told me Sunday. I don't know what time. He'll probably come down here. I told him I was going to do a live. I said, you're welcome to come down if you want at some point to talk about that. So, yep, Ryan's uploading. My son, Ryan Jr., is uploading videos. Just curious to know how ahead you are on the videos. I think right now we're about 2 weeks, and that's including the vacation. So I still think I have about 2 weeks of footage. So we were 3 weeks, and now the vacation cut one of those weeks off. Obviously, we didn't work at all. The guys didn't do anything. They worked a little bit on Monday morning for like a couple hours. I had them do something, but besides that, they didn't work. For me, they probably did their own side work and stuff. I would assume. I didn't talk to them. I told the guys when I left, I said, please don't text me. Don't call me. Don't ask me any questions. I said, just leave me alone for 1 week. And that might sound rude or mean, but when you're the owner, like going on vacation, you just you always think about work. You can't help it, but you try to like separate yourself as much as possible, and that's what I try to do. And it worked pretty good. I was able to relax and have it was definitely 100% the best family vacation we've ever had. It was awesome. We stayed on a lake in Wautoma, Wisconsin. It's called Silver Lake. It was an Airbnb, and let me just say hey to Jake's 4G. I'm sorry, I got my glasses on. You guys know I've talked about this. Like, I have a hard time seeing at an intermediate range, and that's where I am right now. Jade is her favorite on the crew, so you and your wife watch. See, I told you. So we stayed at guys, if you give, I apologize. I can't shout out everybody, obviously, because I have some things I just want to talk about, and it takes time to answer questions. So please don't give and just expect that I'm going to answer. I'd rather you guys just save your money, honestly. So I don't need it. I know some of you want to give, and I definitely appreciate it. I think it's awesome that you guys support me in that way. But I feel bad that I can't like get to every question. So just know that. So the vacation, we did a Airbnb. It was right on the lake. And in years past, we would stay. It wasn't on a lake. It was near a lake. So it was part of a neighborhood that the association kind of shared a beach. It was an association owned beach. So we had access to that. So we would take a golf cart down to the lake. And that was a lot of fun. We enjoyed ourselves. A friend of mine owned the place. So it was really inexpensive, which was great. But this year we kind of splurged a little bit. I spent some money, like, Airbnb. I think it was like $3,000 for the week, which obviously is a ton of money, but we only do it once a year. So I don't feel bad about it at all, spending that kind of money on a week's vacation. It's probably like another thousand for food and all that stuff. It was probably a $4,000 vacation, but I don't feel bad about it. I work hard. And like when I was a kid, we didn't take a ton of vacations, but the vacations that we took, I never forget them. Like those are memory makers. And uh, as a dad, I want to try to create memories in my kids, minds that they'll keep with them for the rest of their lives. And I think we accomplished that this year, staying on the lake. It was awesome. I brought the deck boat and I brought my fishing boat. We got to boat and tube, and my son wakeboarded. I attempted to wakeboard. I actually got out of the water for like 5 seconds. I was standing on the wakeboard sideways towards the boat, how you're supposed to stand, and then pow, that was it. I tried like 3 times and then I gave up. We went fishing. I caught a bunch of fish. I love to fish for largemouth, and that was a ton of fun. It was a lake that I've never fished before. I was unfamiliar with it, so I struggled a little bit, but I did catch a bunch of fish. I caught like three or four that were probably pushing 4 pounds. So I caught a few really nice ones. Those are nice ones here in Wisconsin. Believe me, you guys down south are like, oh, 4 pounder, that's like a baby. We catch those in our ponds out back. That's not how it is in Wisconsin. They just don't grow that big. A 4 pounder is a really nice fish. Not giant, obviously, but they were a lot of fun. And I caught a bunch of like 2 pounders and a pound and a halfers, but it was super fun. Really, really relaxing. Um, like I said, it was definitely the best vacation that we've ever had as a family. Just staying right on the lake. There's nothing like it. Awesome view and all that. Okay, what's your advice on taking abuse from a boss in the trades? Sam, I will address that. So people have different opinions on the definition of the word abuse. I have been told that I abuse my employees, which is obviously completely ridiculous. I'm not even going to go there. So I don't know what your definition of abuse is. I mean, my definition of abuse is like a boss that is just like a tyrant, screams at you, yells at you, belittles you, calls you an idiot, a moron, you're stupid, or a boss that like, in a underhanded or a sneaky way, like withholds pay from you. Um, you know, Maybe a boss that has equipment to do something but makes you do it by hand just because he wants to see you work hard. I mean, that kind of stuff is ridiculous. And it's, if you're going to stick around a guy like that, that's on you. There's plenty of work out there. I would say if you have a boss that fits my definition of what abuse is, just get out of there. Tell him to get somebody else. I'd quit in a heartbeat. I'd be out of there. Jobs are plentiful still. The economy is obviously, not as good as it was. I've been hearing stories of guys slowing down across the country, but there's still jobs to be had. If you're a good employee and if you're worth your money, if you're worth your wage, there's work for you. Just go find another job, man. If you don't want to find another job, build up, do a couple side hustles and earn what you would at a regular job. Just figure it out. I mean, this is America. I know a lot of you guys aren't from America. I'm talking to the guys that are in the United States. There's so many opportunities all around us. It's just a matter of what you want to do and how hard you're willing to work. If you're a hustler, if you're a go-getter, like there's opportunity all around you. Just open your eyes, pick a direction and then hit it hard and you'll do fine. I promise. I mean, that's just the way that it is. So yeah, quit, man. Just quit. Kevin says you give an employee the belt one time, they want to call you names. The belt. Yeah, that's funny. It's a joke, guys. I don't actually beat my employees with a belt. It's a joke. So one time I actually did hit Daryl in a video, obviously lightly, and then I put a sound effect of like a loud belt smack, and like 98% of people obviously knew it was a joke, but there was a couple people that are like, "Man, you hit him really hard." Like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. How do you feel about Eric's work I'm not going to address that. I talked about that in the last live. You guys can judge Eric's work and him for yourselves. The bottom line is Eric's been a really good, loyal employee to me. He works hard for victory. He shows up, every day. So he's been showing up on time. He's been a good guy. I enjoy his company. He's funny. He's entertaining. So you can make the decision and judge for yourself on what he does on his channel. But I love Eric, and he's been a good guy to me, and I don't have any problems with Eric personally whatsoever. Work boots. Somebody asked for a recommendation on work boots. So on a previous video, actually recent video, I wear the Carhartt, the 4-inch wedge boots. They're not very long lasting. They are extremely comfortable though, and for me, the comfort outweighs how long they're going to last. So they feel like tennis shoes to me. They're super comfortable. That's what I wear is the Carhartt 4-inch wedge boots. They're just the shorties, and I don't like the real tall boots up on my ankles. Some guys wear those giant halfway up their calves, the boots, and they are just not comfortable. I don't know how you guys wear those. Not for me. Not for me. I bending down and kneeling down a lot, your ankle flexes. And when you got that high boot, obviously it offers some ankle protection, from tripping or twisting your ankle. I understand the benefit. But for me, the comfort of being able to kneel down and your ankle be able to flex naturally, that's what I prefer is the comfort over anything else. Red Wing Irish setters. Yep, everybody will have an opinion on that for sure. You'll roll your ankle someday, man. Oh, come on, guys. I've fallen down like 6 times this year already. I rolled my ankle one time really bad playing basketball, but the 4-inch wedge boots give you enough. They're like wearing high top sneakers. So you can say, well, you're going to roll your ankle if you wear the 4-inch. Well, NBA players wear the same height of shoes. So I don't think rolling the ankle is going to have much to do with it. I do have a really bad ankle. When I twisted my ankle playing basketball, I tore it up bad. I was in a cast for like 6 weeks. I couldn't walk at all. No pressure. It was really bad. I landed right on somebody's foot, and then my ankle my foot basically turned and it hit the floor, and it snapped and it was ugly. That was some bad pain there. Do you have a TV in your house, and do you watch TV? I don't have a TV in the house. I don't really see any reason to have a TV, to be honest. I mean, we have everybody has these things now. We have our computers. Everybody has iPads and tablets and everything else. And a lot of people that have TVs have smart TVs, and they turn to like YouTube and they watch YouTube anyway. So no, I don't have a TV. Like, we're not the type of family that has ever had a TV. We don't sit in the front of the TV and watch I don't even know what people watch these days. I couldn't even name a television show. Last time when I stopped watching TV shows, like the agenda that the TV shows were pushing just didn't line up with my ideology anyway. I didn't appreciate all of that, and I know it's gotten way, way worse. And honestly, I wouldn't want to watch regular network television anymore anyway. I would appreciate it, put it that way. Murdo T says, I enjoy all the videos. How do you stay positive on Mondays, especially during those weeks where every day is a Monday? Well, you just keep in mind that Friday is on the way. So no, we're good. I don't know. Business is just that way. It's challenging. You're going to have your challenges, so you got to stay positive. I've been right before the vacation. I've been kind of in a bad mood, recently. Just had a short fuse, couple jobs. I kind of just lost my temper a little bit here and there, and it's just because I'm tired, and needed a vacation, and I kind of came at a good time. So the new land is going really good. So when I was on vacation this week, I should say, Carlito was working there all week in the skid loader. He came here, he took care of the house, he mowed my lawn for me, and then he worked at the land. So all of the land is completely cleared of all the brush. We didn't really do too much grading, just a little here and there. All the gravel's in for the yard portion, I guess you would call it, of where we're going to move into at Park. So right now I'm at the stage where I emailed Menominee Falls, which is the city that it's located in, my plans, my building plan, and then the grading plan from the civil engineer. So I'm waiting to hear back from him. So when he gives me the it's going to be a long process. I talked to the guy and he like laid it all out for me, and I was like kind of overwhelmed. I was like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. Meetings with the city and meetings with the board and their engineers. I got to bring my engineer and they got to meet with their engineers, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, Thank you, smashing through. You give me $50 for the roof on the new land. That actually helps because the roof on that little building was really expensive, but the guys did a really good job. So that's where I'm at with the land. Just waiting to hear back from the city. As soon as he gets back to me, we're going to schedule a meeting. That's the next step with him. And then I don't know the positions that are in the city. A couple other people. He said it's a three-person meeting plus myself, and then I kind of lay out what I want to do with the land, and then they're going to talk about it, and then it goes before like a full planning board, and there's a lot of steps, a lot of steps. But I'm pretty patient. I'm just going to wait and just keep saving my money. So when eventually they give me a green light to build something, I will be able to pull the trigger on that. So it's going good. I'm recovering from buying the land, and now I'm starting to put money aside for building. So by the time next year rolls around, hopefully I'll have a good chunk of it where I can, tell the builders, let's go, let's do it, and we'll be able to get something built on there. Thank you, Camille or Camel. I don't know. Sorry. Appreciate that. Hey Ryan, does it bother you when the owner watches you? Francis Heckerman. That's a good question. That's been something that has been very regular. Almost every job this year, almost every job we've had homeowners watching us, and a lot of them the entire time. We've had a few breaks here and there, but this year especially, the homeowners have just been watching. Like they'll just set up a chair. Actually, the video, well, the past video, the last video you saw, and the video that's coming out tomorrow, the homeowner stared at us like from the time we got there till the time we left. Uh, I generally don't mind it. I don't cut corners. I don't do anything where I wouldn't want them to see anyway, so it doesn't bother me in that way. But honestly, it would be kind of nice if, like, the homeowner at one, if you want to watch for a little while, that's cool, and then maybe just take a break and go outside for a little while, and then come out a little later when the concrete gets there or something. I mean, that would be kind of nice. But it's just one of those things. The homeowner, that's up to them. It's not my decision. They're paying a ton of money to have me come out and work. If they want to watch, that's up to them. I would never ever say anything to them. That's a bit of advice. Don't ever tell your homeowner to go inside and not watch. You're just putting a giant question mark in their head of doubt, and they're going to wonder why you don't want them to watch. So I would never say anything. But yeah, once in a while, it would be nice to have a little bit of a break, to be completely honest. So update on Tino. I already explained that curl, but he is back, so he's doing much better. So a couple more questions about the same thing. Jake said he is a 21-year-old plumber grinding my trade and hustling. With what you know, what's one thing you would tell your 21-year-old self? Uh, Jake, I don't know if I would tell this to myself because I took the plunge when I was very young. But if you have aspirations of going into business and you're 21 years old, there's no reason for you to wait around until you're 31 years old, I guess is what I'm saying. A lot of guys are nervous about starting their own business, and they're just overly cautious. I would say if you have an idea that someday you want to start your business, like start taking steps right now. I'm not saying to just start your business right now. Start thinking it through, what you're going to need, what it's going to look like. Start learning like the business end of a small business and the operation of it. Start figuring all that stuff out, and don't wait too long. Life is short, man. I'm 46 years old, and man, it seems like I just got married. I started having children, and life just flies by. So don't wait. Start your business when you're young. That would be my number one piece of advice. If you want to start a business, if you're able to, don't wait around because you're scared. I guess that's what I'm saying. The vans that are on the land, they are, yeah, the guy that my friend who owns them, he is selling them. They're not mine. A lot of people think that the vans came with the land. They did not come with the land. There was like 34 vans. obviously pretty valuable still. So they they did not just come with the land. They weren't just like throw-ins or anything. They're not mine. I have nothing to do with them. My friend is selling them. He sold off a whole bunch already. He moved a whole bunch already. So things are going well with that. Why do you almost always change finish elevation? Kevin, I assume you're talking about like driveways and stuff. So when I walk up to a job, even when I'm bidding a job, obviously if the customer comes out right away, my attention is on them and what they're saying. But I'm also looking at the job. My very first thought when I walk up to the job is where am I going with the water? How am I going to drain this job? That's the very first thing that I look for when I'm walking up to a driveway or a job, any kind of job, really, patio, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at the lawn. I'm looking at the height of the steps. I'm looking at the height of the garage floor as compared to like the height of the road. If the road's higher, like, oh, it's going back to the garage. How am I going to deal with that? If it's on a hill, I'm like, man, this one's going to be easy. We just drain it to the road. So whatever I need to do to get the drainage right, that's what I do. I don't care what the existing driveway is doing. I'm going to put the new driveway in how I know it's going to drain, how it's going to be right. And if that means it's going to be 2 inches above the lawn, then it's going to be 2 inches above the lawn. I always tell the people, just from experience, I know just by looking at it what's going to happen on the job. So I'll tell the customer, look, this is going to be below the grass here. You're going to have this landscape. I'm just telling you, this is what it's going to look like when we're done. That way, that's where experience comes into play. When you've been doing it a long time, you already know what it's going to look like when it's finished if they hire you. So you can explain what the finished look is going to be. So that way, when you're all done, they come outside and they're like, "Wow, like this is exactly what you said. We're super happy. Here's your money. And that's what you want. You don't want somebody coming outside and like, whoa, well, that's like 3 inches lower than my lawn. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? You didn't tell me anything about that." As long as you inform people before the process starts, you're good. They're not going to complain if you already told them what's going to happen. There's no reason to, obviously. You seem like a tool. Thank you, Matt. What kind of tool? Just answer that. He gives $2 and says I'm a tool. Well, at least I took your $2. Who's the tool? Thanks for the $2. Do you plan on paving the new lot at some point in the future after the buildings? Yes, absolutely. You got to remember, guys, if you come on here and hate, like, I always think it's funny though. People will call in. I listen to talk radio. We have a couple really good, like very good conservative talk radio shows hosts here in Milwaukee. We have Mark Belling. You might have heard of him. He used to fill in for Rush years ago. And then we have a guy named Weber. What's his first name? Forgot his first name. But anyways, they're really good. It's always funny when people call in and say something stupid. The radio show host always has the last word. So like arguing with somebody that can just like push a button, turn you off, it's really a bad idea. You're always going to lose the argument. I don't recommend it. So, anyways, paving the land, yes. So the plans, I'm not going to show you the plans now, but basically on the rental side of the land, it's going to be 3 buildings and the entire parking lot is paved. There's almost no green space whatsoever. So the entire thing will be paved and, I don't really want to think about it right now because it's an enormous amount of concrete. The first building I have it planned out. It's like an approach. It'll kind of curve around the building. So it'll be reasonable. But once we talk about the second and third building, it's going to be a massive amount of concrete to pour. But that's just what needs to happen. So that's what we're going to plan on. What was your first job ever? Man, the first concrete job, I don't even remember. Let me think. So it was a driveway. It was out in Waukesha somewhere. I was working for a guy who had a partner, and yeah. So the very first job I was on, the foreman had me strike off. He just had me strike off. It was a driveway, kind of like probably 25 yards, 20 yards, and it went good. They had a really good crew, so it wasn't too difficult for me because everybody knew what they were doing back then. Have you ever had a customer refuse to pay? So I had a customer that didn't pay in full once. I think it was about probably a $13,000 job, and he owed $5,000 final payment, and he didn't want to pay. So I got into a big argument with him because he had no reason or reasoning whatsoever not to pay. He just decided he didn't want to pay. So eventually he paid, and it took some arguing back and forth between me and him. And I got super angry. Like I was probably as angry as I've ever been because this guy thought he was a big shot. He had a big ego. He was a Chicago attorney, so he had a whole bunch of money, and he just thought I was a peon. Hang on one second. And anyways, I went to his house at 11 o'clock at night, and I was banging on the door, and he came out of his bedroom, which was up the stairs, and he saw me, and I was furious. He went back into his bedroom, and he texted me that he would have the money the next day. He met me at the Starbucks the next day, and he paid his money. So call that intimidation. It was foolishness on my part. I would never do that again. I let my emotions get the best of me. So I'm not like saying that in pride, like, oh, I went and intimidated that. No, that was stupid. It was when I was pretty young, and I let my emotions control me. But I was angry, and the bottom line, it worked. We got the money, but I don't recommend using those tactics. That's not a smart idea. He could have probably shot me through his door if he wanted to. Is MacGyver and the mechanic rental shop owners mad that you're not giving them any more rent money? Yeah, right. I pay them rent every month. I just dropped them a check last week. Where are you at? Oh boy. Here comes somebody apparently trying to promote his own YouTube channel.
Like my new merch?
Yeah, it looks.
So I have a new merch line. It looks kind of like this. This is the prototype. So I cleared half your shed out for my stuff. So everybody be looking for that.
It looks strikingly similar to mine.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah. So anyways, those of you that don't know, most of you do know because this kid puts out one video and it gets 185,000 views. But he started his own channel. It's called Junior. I don't know if they can read it. It's kind of glary, but it's Junior Style spelled out. There you go. Now you can see it. So he started his own channel, and he's just going to put, like, what are you going to do, one video a week?
I'm going to try, yeah.
He's going to try to just put one video out a week. He's not trying to become like a big YouTuber, Mr. Beast or whatever, but he's just going to document his side work that he gets. So video tomorrow?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we'll have all victory, Eric and you.
So you're going to put yours at 7 to compete directly with me also?
Actually, I'm planning on getting you more views that way.
Oh,
once it connects my channel with yours, then your views are going to go way up.
Gotcha. So your videos are going to help my channel.
Yeah, it's going to make it
go. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Imagine living under daddy's roof at that age, Matt. What a moron. Matt, you're a real moron. If your dad lets you live at home while he's in college, Matt. So he's going to college and it's a local college, so he gets to live here. You're really stupid if you move out and spend $1,500 a month on rent when you have your own room and you can pretty much do whatever you want. So keep hating. I'm paying for everything with all your tears, so keep it up. I love it. Gives me motivation to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's Ryan's channel, Junior Style. That's the name. Go subscribe over there. He's trying to make piles of cash so he can pay for. He goes to ministry college, so you're going to be what?
Preacher.
He's going to be a preacher. So he's starting to be a preacher. So guys like Matt, you can keep hating, but the reality is this kid's going to go off and do what?
Help people in Mexico. That's the plan.
That's the plan. He's going to preach to and minister to the youth in Mexico. Yeah. Obviously, plans can change, but that's the direction that he's heading right now. So, and I am taking a 50% cut of all his YouTube revenue just because somebody actually said that. I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody was like, yeah, Ryan Sr. is probably taking like a percentage of his YouTube revenue. Like, I'm going to steal money from my own son. Like, who do you think I am? Do you think I'm a monster?
Yeah, he takes 50% of mine, and he takes 75% of Eric's.
Yeah, Eric's too. Yeah, I steal everybody's money.
Yeah, and he gave Eric a pay cut.
Yeah, you know? That's right. Yeah, I'm definitely a taker and not a giver. Just grab. Like, greed is my middle name. Everybody knows that. So, anyways, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
go subscribe and go look for that merch. It should be coming out.
Yeah.
Whenever the victory merch is coming out.
Just as fast as you can print those circle stickers, they'll come out, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, my son started a YouTube channel. It's crazy how the algorithm of YouTube just connects, like Eric and Mike and my son, and it just, as soon as they put a video, like if I didn't have a channel and Ryan put out the video that he did, it would get like 7 views, but it got 185,000 views. That just is crazy. That won't sustain. Obviously, people want to see what's going on and all that, and of course they're interested to see like new channels, like when Eric and Mike and Ryan. That won't continue, but he'll still get good views just for my channel, and I'm all for it. He's going to pay for his college. He pays for all his own stuff. I don't pay for anything for Ryan. His own car. He's 21 years old. Obviously, he's on his own. He's an adult, so that really will help him if he's able to make extra money on YouTube to help pay for his college, because he's going to be a senior this year. And although he's graduating, he's going to return to school for seminary and probably do a couple of years of seminary before he's ready to hit the field as a missionary. So that'll be a big help for him. Can you do more estimates of video estimates? I tried not to do too many of those because not that many people would find them interesting. And then those people that I do estimates for, I haven't really built any kind of relationship with them. After I do the estimate and we've talked several times and they put a deposit, when we go to do the job, we're almost kind of somewhat friends. So the video thing, they don't have any problem with that. But just walking up to somebody and just videoing them, putting them on the internet when they don't even know what's coming, it's just one of those things. I try to be careful with that. I have done it before, but I always ask the people, so maybe I will. We'll see what happens. Do you make good money from your YouTube channel? Yes, Hunter. It's a very good side hustle. I make good money on social media altogether, not only YouTube, but I make really good money on Facebook as well. So it's been a real blessing being able to do some of the stuff that I have. Yes. Nick T says, I'm a firefighter going to promote and become a leader myself. I find you a great leader. Any advice to start off on the right foot? Well, Nick, if you're going to promote and become a leader yourself, it's hard to know where you are. If you're a younger guy, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to gain people's respect. But I found out, because I started for your daughter, Autumn, thank you very much, $100 for Autumn. And by the way, Autumn attends the same college my son does. It's a ministry college, and it doesn't mean she's going to go into full-time ministry, but she just doesn't know what she wants to do now. She's kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern until she can figure it out. And obviously, it's a great place to be, just to socialize with other good people with, the same kind of life direction as you're heading in. So it's good for her, but she pays her own way for everything. So any bit like that definitely helps. So what I was saying about leadership is I started the business when I was really young. I felt like I was just a kid. I was 20 years old. And I remember going on estimates, and I had a hard time at first, like gaining people's respect. Here I am, 20 years old, and I'm talking to a homeowner that I want them to spend $10,000 or $15,000 of their money with me, just a young guy. And the number one thing is your knowledge. So even though I was young, I could talk very intelligently. I knew about concrete when I was 20 years old. I picked it up really fast. I had a general understanding of what was going on. I was just kind of a natural at it. So if you have the knowledge, that's the biggest thing. That's the key to gaining people's respect, no matter how old they are. So you got to know what you're doing, I guess is what I'm saying. If you really know what you're doing, you can gain people's respect no matter what. I would say if you're an older guy and you're just getting promoted into that position, the other guys around you initially, that you might experience a little bit of jealousy, even if there's just undertones of jealousy. But I would say my number one piece of advice in that situation is to get their input and actually apply their input. Listen to their ideas. Don't just come in and be the guy that's like, we're going to do it my way and we're going to do this and we're changing this. Be the guy that comes in and says, hey, what do you guys think about this? It's the way that you put it to those other guys that are gonna, keep them on board. You're gonna keep their respect, and you're gonna keep them as team members. It's not just gonna be them versus you. It's gonna be a team. It's gonna be us. So everything you want to do or change, run it across. Hey guys, I was thinking about doing this. What do you think about this idea? So just present things that way. Don't just come in there and think that you're special. If you come in there even with a hint of thinking that you're special, like, you're done. You're going to lose their respect. You're going to have a messed up team real quick. All right, moving on. Moving on. Did Daniel do anything funny on vacation? Yeah, so it would be funny to you guys, but we went tubing, and he's had a healthy fear of water. Obviously, the little kids wear the life vests and stuff, but they still have a healthy fear of water. Daniel started to get a little bit more courageous this year. And Ryan Jr., thank you, Joe. I will give that $20 to him. And so he was jumping out of the boat, and he was having a lot of fun. But then we went tubing, and he was like, "I think I want to go on the tube," which was a big deal for him. But he got on the tube, and I just went really slow, and he started to have fun. He's like, "Go faster, go faster." So I went a little faster and faster. And then the next day we went even faster. We went tubing again, and then for the first time, I turned the boat and I swung the tube outside of the wake. And when you swing the tube, the speed picks up. And then you get outside into the rough water, and it was the look on his face was hilarious. So he was terrified, but he was having fun at the same time. So even though he was terrified, he was like ready to scream. He didn't want to stop. So that was really funny. It was a lot of fun. How long has Bugs worked for you? On and off for 20 years. So he didn't work for me steady all that time. He's worked for other companies in between as well. He would kind of come and go. He worked with me most of the time, but he did work for other companies in between for various different reasons. That's just life. That's what happens. Whatever happened with the lawsuit from that one job? Will we ever know what happened? Brody, I won't talk about it in detail, but that got settled. It never turned into a lawsuit. It almost turned into a lawsuit, and I thought it was going to. But we settled. We finally came to an agreement. So it was. I'm going to keep it vague again, but it was a problem with the material. Bottom line, even the material supplier admitted it was 100% their fault. So we worked out a deal between me and the material provider and the client, and we just settled financially, and it wasn't that big of a deal, and it all was fine. It was stressful, and it caused me a lot of anxiety because I don't like nobody really likes to be combative with other people, especially when it's ongoing for like a couple of months, like this email, and then you write an email, and then they write an email back, and I'm going to do this, and then you write an email, you go ahead, I'm going to do this. Like, I hate that. Like, I don't like arguing with people. Who likes that? So it caused a lot of anxiety, not only in me, but for the client as well. Like, she's kind of going through the same thing. The material supplier, they just don't care because they're enormous, and like that little bit of change is nothing for them. But it all worked out. I was glad to settle with the client, and at the end of the day, it's over with. And, we moved on, and that was that. So no lawsuit, which is good. I didn't want to go to court. I don't care if I won or lost. It's a matter of me wasting my time messing around with court and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever done HVAC? I have never done any HVAC. The closest I've ever come is watched somebody put in my furnace. Well, I guess I put in a couple hot water heaters. That was probably the closest I've come, but I've never done HVAC. I really don't know what I'm doing. This is the most important for, if you had to choose one tool only, what would you say is the most important for concrete? Oh man, that's not really a fair question. There's a lot of different tools that are required for concrete work. So let me answer it in this way. If you're looking for a tool that's going to be an investment, that's very versatile, you can do many different things with it. Summer and winter, people will hire you to use it. Buy a skid loader. I would say a skid loader is a very good investment if you do that type of work at all. You can rent your skid loader. You can plow snow with. You can move dirt. You can do grading and landscaping. They got various attachments. You can do just about anything with a skid loader. So if you're going to invest in a tool, if you want to call it, it's more equipment, but it's a tool as well. I would look at a skid loader. Would you make a React series of bad concrete jobs? Connor, there's already a plethora of guys that do that. Like reaction videos, and that's not my style. Not only that, my channel is big enough where it could get back to those people that I was making fun of them, or I was giving them the thumbs down, or they don't know what they're doing and stuff. And I don't want to cause any friction with anybody, man. I try to get along with everybody. Like I just said a few minutes ago, I don't like to argue with people, and I just don't want to start that. And like I said, my channel's like big enough where word just seems to spread all over the world, no matter what I say or do. And I prefer just to stay positive, even though it might be funny. But there's other people that do that as well. Two pours. When you do two pours back to back, do you drill or hammer rebar? Yes, we do. Manny, we do connect all of our pours one to the next. So, for instance, you guys will see us pour a driveway. There'll be a shut off, and we do, we put rebar into the first pour that sticks out and gets encapsulated by the second pour, and that holds those two pours together. So, especially here in Wisconsin in the north, we get a lot of ground movement with frost. You don't have this kind of thing where you have one slab that's at a different level than the other. Those slabs are going to move, even though it's just a little bit, they're going to move together because they're rebarred together. It's very important, actually. Some guys I see put felt from one pour to the next, and I don't recommend that in freezing climates because you're going to probably, hey, what's up, Mitch? How is Tino? He's doing good. Mitch is just a friend from Facebook. We communicate on a regular basis. So I don't recommend that. I recommend that you tie it together. Let's see. No, I'm not going to touch that one. What is the least enjoyable part of your business duties? I think it's mental. I think the hardest part of running a small business is the mental aspect of it. It's juggling all the various things that you have to juggle. As an employee, it's just so much easier. You don't have the weight of responsibility on your shoulders like you do as a business owner. So you're always juggling so many different things. And in the back of your mind, there's so many things that you should be doing that you're not getting to. And you're trying to get stuff doing. And sometimes in the busy season, it feels like you're just like doggy paddling, treading water, and you're just taking care of that thing just in the nick of time. And you're just getting to that customer just before they get upset. And you're just getting back to that email because you were supposed to, like stuff, the paper that I'm holding in my hand, I won't show you the back. That's an insurance audit. This has been sitting on my desk. You get stuff that you just have to do. Like you cannot neglect this. So every year, the insurance company will hire a professional auditor, and the auditor basically checks into everything that you do. You got to answer tons of questions. Usually there's a couple emails and a couple phone calls because the insurance company wants to know exactly how your business runs. Because obviously it's their money on the line. If something happens, they want to know about all your vehicles and who's driving them, what type of work do you do? Do you do anything dangerous? Like for instance, they'll ask you if you mow grass on hills because people die mowing grass on hills, and the insurance company doesn't want to pay for somebody that gets chopped up, so they want to know if you're doing that type of work. Are you doing retaining walls where somebody could fall off? Are you doing roofing where somebody could get hurt? So they're basically assessing risk. That's why the insurance company hires an auditor, but it's all that kind of stuff like that. And it's just constantly. And in your mind, like mentally, you're like, man, I just want to get a break. I just want to think about nothing and go to sleep. Well, you can go to sleep and think about nothing, but the stuff in the background, it's just like it's compiling now. So you can sleep all you want, but when you wake up, you're going to have a stack like this. So even on vacation, I'm on vacation, I'm enjoying myself, but in the back of my mind, I know that there's emails like, going like this, and there's little stuff, and customers want to be attended to, and they have questions. That's the hardest part about owning a business, honestly. The level of responsibility is like 1,000-fold from being an employee. So you can have, when you're a foreman, you're kind of like in between, or a manager of some sort, you're kind of in between. So you start to get a taste of that. You're like, wow, this is way more. But then when you're the guy that's at the top, that's when all the pressure starts to kind of mount. And it's a mental game. That's all it is. It's a mental game. You gotta keep hustling. You never really get a break. That's the hardest thing, is you never get a break. But that sounded pretty negative. I was just giving you the answer. The positive is there is, endless benefits to being a business owner as well. So that's why you do it. That's why you deal with it, because there's all kinds of benefits. There's a lot of freedom that comes. You can work, you can do what you want to do. You can choose like for instance, if I want to do all stamp work, all I want to do is stamp, let's just say patios. If I love stamp patios, that's all I want to do. I can change my marketing to just stamp patios. I could just do stamp patios. If I don't want to do concrete at all anymore, I can market for landscaping. I can go do long landscaping. So when I say there's freedom, there is freedom. You can choose directions, you can choose marketing, you can do things a little bit different. If I wanted to start using rebar instead of mesh, I can make those type of decisions. If I want to have another crew, I can add another crew if I want to do that. If I want to hire a salesman, so you have a lot of freedom. And there's also obviously there's financial benefits and blessings that come owning a business if you can manage it properly, if you run efficiently, if you price your jobs right. If the economy is decent where you can bring the work in, obviously there's lots of blessings. So you put up with, the dealing with all the negative and the stress and the pressure because of the blessings. And honestly, you kind of get addicted to the pressure too. You kind of live, you're like, I'm solving this problem. Even though you're treading water, you're still taking care of all those little things. You're like, man, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm getting it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I took care of that. I took care of that. I'm checking that off the list. I did it. And like, you feel like you won, like every week at the end of the week, you're like, it's Friday. The employees all went home. They all have their checks. I made it through another week. We did really great work. Happy customers. I put a pile in the bank. It was a good week. So at the end of the week, you're like, yes. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would never, I can't say I would never work for anybody. It'd have to be just a perfect situation, but it would be difficult for me just to go live or go work for somebody else and live under their rules. I like making my own rules. I like being the boss. It's fun. So, what's up, Calgary? I know that was a long question. I'll try to get to some more questions. Thanks for the detailed answer. Do you ever have dreams about pouring concrete? I used to. I don't. I don't have dreams about pouring concrete anymore. If I do, I don't remember them. What's your favorite baitcaster? So I have a Corrado. That's what I've been using. That's what I use on vacation. I bought that like 2 years ago. It was expensive, man, but I really like it. It's a good reel. And then I have two Lews. I think that's how you say it. Lews. They came in a combo. So when you buy rods and reels in combos, generally the quality it can be decent, but you're not getting like top quality rod and a top quality reel. So I have a couple of those, but then I have the Corrado with a St. Croix rod, like a bass, I forget what they call it, bass something, 7 foot, medium heavy. So I throw lots of spinner baits and lots of buzz baits, chatter baits. Um, I like to cover water and move fast. Basically, I'm not going to talk too much about fishing. I'm going to bore half the 90% of the people. Thank you very much, Jeffrey Wolf. I appreciate that. Me and my pops, Danny Ross, watch the channel together. That is awesome. Did Daniel catch the bass? He did not catch the bass, but he had just as much fun watching me catch the bass. They came out with me. When I say they, it was him and Joanna, one of my daughters, and I caught that one. And he was super excited because I had him net the fish. I said, "Hey, Daddy, you gotta be ready with the net." So the whole time I was fishing, like he was pounding the net on the water. He was like trying to scoop up weeds and like he was, I don't know what he was doing with the net. Kids just play. And then I got one. He was super excited. It was like a 3 pounder or whatever. So I reel it in and like he tried to scoop it and he missed. And then it was hooked good. It wasn't coming off. And then he scooped and he got it. He was like so excited. It was really fun. But I took Daniel fishing a couple years ago and I've been talking to him about this. We're going to take a Saturday and we're going to go pan fishing. And I'm going to make a video about that because that's, man, watching kids fish and like the excitement in their face when they catch a fish, even though it's like, it's a little bluegill, super fun for them. We took them, Autumn came with me was it Autumn? Yeah, Autumn came with me that time. We had a super great time. That was before I made videos though. But I will take them again. That one I don't want to answer. It's kind of nice too. It's kind of nice too. I get to kind of pick and choose the questions that I answer. I don't avoid all of them, but if they're just, you know, trying to rile me up or whatever. Brian asked, do you officially own the new land? Brian, yes, I have the deed. The land is 100% paid for. I own the land outright. I don't owe anybody money. I did not take out a loan. I paid for the land in cash. It is all mine. The video of that closing is coming up actually pretty soon, with I think this week sometime. Have you had workers argue and physically fight on the job site? I've never had a physical fight because I will step in before that happens, but the guys argue all the time. There's always yap, 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 and over here, yap, yap, yap. And, I'll put out the fire. Generally, I'll say something. Are you guys fighting again? Um, and I don't let it get too far. Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember who it was. Bugs and somebody. Was it? I don't know. They were somebody said something and then somebody said something back, and it got like a little more like if they just say something, I don't say anything. But it started to go back and forth a few times, and then I stepped in and I told him, I said, both you shut up. That's how I said it too. I said it loud. I said, both you shut up. I don't want that on my job. You can work it out later. But no, I haven't had anybody physically fight. I wouldn't let that happen. I'm on every job all the time, so that would be pretty wild. So I've never seen guys physically fight on a job site, but I know it does happen. But as a business owner, you would never ever want to let that happen, because if one of the guys gets hurt, then it's my problem. So dealing with whatever injuries they might have. First time joining the live. Thank you, DPG Triple X. Personal question: is it a religious thing that your females in your family wear long dresses? I have addressed this like so many times. We're a conservative family. The girls dress conservatively. Yes, they wear skirts and dresses. We're not a yoga pants family. That's just not us. It's counterculture. I understand that. I get that question asked so many times. I feel like I said this before, but I feel like if my son wore dresses, that I would get the question asked less than my girls wearing dresses. So that's how I'll put that. We're just a conservative Christian family. That's the way we choose to dress. I get called a cultist constantly and continually, just because of that, which is, it's kind of ridiculous, but that's okay. It really doesn't bother me that much. It's just one of those things. My desk is a mess, so I kind of clean this area behind me, so you guys think like Ryan's pretty clean. But if I turn the computer that way right now, you guys say, man, that's pretty messy. So I'm not going to turn the computer that way. You mark my words, Ryan. Eric is going to turn on you, man. I've been in business for 20 years, and I've seen it a million times. All right, D-Tech computer repair. I guess just go on fixing your computers. So what? Eric's going to turn on me like, okay, what, is he going to hurt me? Like, I've been in business for 24 years. Turn on me for what? Like, what did I didn't do anything. It's been nothing but blessings for Eric. What's the longest workday you ever had? How many hours? Oh man, that's a good one. So there was one job we did, and it was downtown Milwaukee, and it was a bar restaurant. This was a long time ago, really long time ago. I was young. Um, and what was it? It was an Irish restaurant, and they were trying to get ready for St. They were trying to open by St. Patty's Day. They were doing like a major remodel. We did all the floors. We did a overlay and stamped all the floors like wood plank, and then some of it was aggressive slate texture. And there was a ton of contractors working there. There was painters there. The window guys were there, and the only time that we could work where we weren't in everybody's way, because we did the entire floor and everybody was trying to work and we were in everybody's way. So we worked all night long. So basically we worked all day, and then we worked all night long till like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And that was awful. I think we were sealing the floor at that point, and all the sealer, we use acrylic based sealer, solvent based inside, and it was horrible. We all had masks on, but it was beyond horrible. It was a bad idea. But anyways, we sealed the thing all night long. That was the longest day we ever worked. Besides snow plowing. Snow plowing is different. I worked 30 some hours snow plowing before, but that's not, I don't consider that a regular work day, like concrete work day. Where do you get your music? What is your editing setup? So, well, basically the computer that I'm on with you guys right now, it's pretty much the same. This is a little bit of updated Mac. The one I'm on is a little bit bigger. They don't make them this big anymore. But this is Final Cut Pro right here. I'm in the middle of, not in the middle, I'm kind of on front end of editing a video right now. And I always wear these are some really nice headphones. Very important to get your audio right. Some guys, you can't even hardly watch a video because the music will come on, it's super loud, or they'll put a jackhammer on. They won't adjust the volume. So every time I edit a video, when it's completely done, I'll wear headphones and I'll already have watched all the video. I'll be happy with the video. Then I watch an entire another time, and all I pay attention to is the audio, and I'll adjust the audio level on every single clip to make it just perfect. I see videos and they're lazily edited, and that's just not the way I like to do things. I cut it up and I try to make it entertaining. All the music I have been getting from Epidemic Sound. So you buy a membership, and then your copyright is all covered and everything, so you don't get in trouble for the music. So that's basically it. So it's Final Cut Pro. It's a pretty simple program if you're familiar with the Apple platform. It's pretty intuitive. Watch some videos. I mean, it's pretty simple. So up here, I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. So basically, right here is a SD card reader. So up here in the program, it'll bring up the clips, whatever's on the chip. And then these, you can choose them individually. You can actually edit right here, cut them down, and then you import all your clips. Once you import all your clips, they'll come up here, and then from here you can snatch them. This is DJI, so this is a drone footage, some drone footage. So you drag it down into your timeline. See, I drug it down in my timeline right there, and then there's different tools. You got to learn your keyboard shortcuts, of course, and stuff like that. But then you can basically just you can chop up your videos. You can change the order, and it takes time, but at the end you'll have a really cool video. You can put audio in there. So up here you have your music tab. If you want to throw a song in, here's a song right here. I put that over the drone footage, and then there you go. There you go, bam. Like 8 yards. I think we're using a power. So that's basically it. So that's my setup. As far as cameras go, I showed this before, but I use the GoPros. There's different action cams now, and some of them look pretty intriguing, actually. I was looking at them when we were on vacation on the internet. The GoPros have been pretty decent. I have had some trouble with them. If you video in 4K, they're gonna get hot. And when they get hot, they eat up batteries like one after the other, especially if it's hot out already. If it's 90 degrees and you're videoing at 4K, you'll probably burn through a battery in about 10 minutes or so. So you go through a crazy amount of batteries. But they've been pretty decent. It doesn't matter what number you get, 9, 10, 11, whatever you get the max, and they're all pretty much the same. It's kind of like iPhones. These two are both 11s. Actually, all three of these that I'm using currently are 11s, but I have the 10s and the 9s, and I have an old one over there somewhere. I don't even know what number it is, but so that's what I use to shoot video and edit. I have a clamp, basically a clamp like this. So you can clamp this on the concrete chute, you can clamp it on the power buggy, on the rail of the dump truck, on the equipment or whatever. Use that, and then you guys know I wear the head mount. So basically, just strap this baby on your head just like this, and then you have the mount for the GoPro right there. And basically, it's a bird's eye view, so it almost looks like you're looking through the person's eyes. And then, of course, I carry a cheap It's just a real cheapy tripod. I don't even know what brand it is, but it's got a swivel head. It's really all you need. It's got the little clips. You can raise it or lower it, but I would never buy a good tripod because this thing, as you can see, it literally goes in the concrete sometimes. It gets beat up. It gets knocked over like multiple times. Um, I think this is the second year for that tripod. It's missing a part at the bottom. That's basically what I use. It all works pretty good. Edmundo says, is Tino coming back? I answered that earlier, but yes, Tino is coming back. He's back already. He's been back for, I think, a week and a half. So MDF gives $10. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jason asked if I've ever gotten a chance to control a concrete truck during a pour. I would love to, but I have never controlled a concrete truck so far. The company, your supply company would have a big problem with that. There's liability involved. You can't just jump in their truck. You know what I just talked about a little earlier about this insurance audit? Well, basically an insurance company is just looking for reasons to cancel you. So you don't want to do anything to tick off your insurance company. And I know for a fact if the owner saw a video of me jumping in one of their trucks, like he would seriously be angry. He might cut me off. I don't know. Heavy equipment for new land. Gabe, I'm going to have to dig retention ponds. So definitely going to use something other than a skid loader. So we'll see. I got to get the approval from Menominee Falls. I can't dig anything at all. It could be just a major waste of time. They could say, you can't have the retention pond there. You got to move it over here. You got to turn it sideways. I have a civil engineer that put it how I wanted it. But the city might say, not a chance. You got to move it. So I can't touch anything. So waiting on approval. Once we figure it out and get approval, then there is some companies around here like United Rentals. I think they're nationwide. Most of you guys probably have heard of United Rentals, but they rent heavy equipment. Even the big excavators, the bigger bulldozers, they have all that stuff. They'll come and drop it off for you. So, if I need to rent that for a week to dig a retention pond, that would be perfectly fine. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to buy a big excavator. Although it would be like super awesome. I really don't need a big excavator. I dig the pond and then it would basically just sit there. So I'm not going to buy anything, but I'm definitely going to have to rent something. I would like to rent a guy too that knows what he's doing because I think if I had somebody that has dug retention ponds and can just like boom, boom, boom instead of me, like boom, go shoot the height and then dig a little more and shoot the height and then get it right. Like that dude with the channel, Let's Dig 18. Man, I wish that guy would come over here and dig my pond. I'll pay him handsomely to come and dig my pond, but I know he's probably really busy. George, thank you for firing Tino. He is not dependable. George, I did not fire Tino. I never said I was firing Tino. I never even mentioned that I was firing Tino. Not sure where you get your information, but he's back to work for me. Does Menominee Falls allow in your zoning for your land to have a fuel depot for your trucks? I've been looking at fuel tanks. It's crossed my mind, but I'm not sure. I think they probably would. It's an industrial area, but that's like, that's down the road right now. When will you see the Victory line of tools? Books in a Box asks. I had mentioned that in the past, but I also mentioned that was a long-term goal. It's still a long-term goal. I would love to do it. I would probably have to partner with people. Andy, thank you. He says thank you, but I say thank you back. So yeah, we'll see about that. It's still in the back of my mind. I want to do it, but I have a lot of stuff going right now. I can't let's just start a tool business. I want to, trust me, I want to, because I know I can make improvement on tools. And I think it would do really well, but it's down the line. Brian said he has a painting business. He's 28 years old. Congratulations. I basically just said thank you. Well, thank you for following along. Is that your real TikTok account? So I don't know what TikTok account you're following, but it's not my real TikTok account because I no longer have a TikTok account of my own. I haven't been on TikTok at all, not even once since I quit. I think it was April or May or something. I gave up TikTok. TikTok it wasn't for me. I played with it for like a year and a half, but I don't appreciate it. It's not the platform. It's not the platform for me. So I gave it up. So whatever you see on TikTok, I know a lot of people make videos of me and about me, and they steal my videos and put it on their TikToks and all that stuff. And I don't really care. Have at it. TikTok doesn't pay anyway. So. Okay, Wyatt asks, please briefly explain how you calculate the concrete yardage you need for a specific area. All right, I can do that. So it's really simple. So if you're pouring a 5-inch thick concrete slab, which for instance, we do our driveways, or anything that we would have a customer drive on, we pour at 5 inches thick for a residential area. So at 5 inches, you get 65 square feet covered with 1 yard of concrete. So for instance, you just grab your calculator, and if you have, an 85-foot long driveway and it's 12 feet wide, you'll have 1,020 square feet. So then you just divide it by 65 square feet, and it would be 15.69 yards. 4 inches thick, you would do, I do 80 square feet, 54 square feet for 6 inches thick. So it's really, 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 really simple. And if you forget what I just said, just go on the internet, pull up concrete calculator. There's always really good concrete calculators. If I have some kind of weird footing where it's like, it's 18 inches wide and 2 feet thick or whatever, I'll pull up a concrete calculator and I'll just punch it in. It does the work for you, and it'll give you the appropriate yardage. All right, let's see. Is Ray your protege? Do you like wearing the pink hat? Looks good on you. Thank you. Appreciate that. What does NCA mean? So it's non-chloride accelerator. So calcium chloride is an accelerant for concrete, meaning it accelerates or it speeds up the set time of concrete. NCA is a type of accelerator for concrete that does not contain chloride. And the reason why we don't want chloride in our concrete, because it affects the color of concrete. The NCA is just an accelerator that, A, it doesn't really affect the color of the finished concrete, and then B, it doesn't attack the steel in the concrete like chloride does. So basically it's a safe alternative as an accelerant for concrete accelerator. MDF says, congrats to Eric and his new business. Tell him to hold on to all those alarm clocks. Yes. Yes, sir. So, and people are saying, well, Eric's going to go on his own. You're going to lose him, and you may lose Francisco at some point. Guys, that was the point. I'm not trying to hold on to my employees for life. I know some employees or employers, like they try to do things like almost like suppress the growth or the success of their employees because they're good employees and they never want them to leave. They want to have them forever. Like I don't really think like that. I think a little bit differently. Like let these guys go. Like send them on their way. Let them grow and take off and be successful on their own. And then they can hire guys, and then they can help those guys grow. And it's kind of like it's a process that repeats and all that. I'm not trying to hold on to all my guys. When Eric moves on, maybe Francisco Bugs isn't going to move on. He's going to retire. But whoever moves on, believe me, there's tons, and I mean tons of young guys just like Eric, just like Francisco, that are hungry and they would love the opportunity to come alongside and have somebody to help them and, just send them on their way in the future as well. So I don't worry about stuff like that. That was the plan to begin with. I don't know if you guys remember, was it 2 years ago or whatever, last year or whatever? Like I helped Eric. I actually borrowed him the money to buy his first work truck. When he started his YouTube channel, I gave him one of my GoPro cameras to help him along. Like that's what it's all about in my mind. Like if those guys leave and they become successful, like I am nothing but happy for them. I want to see them move on and be successful. I'm not the jealous type. Hopefully most of you guys know that already. I'm not the jealous type. That doesn't worry me or scare me. For me, that's just another opportunity. It's going to be another fresh opportunity for somebody else. So that'll be just fine. And that's really up to him. That's Eric in particular. When he feels he's ready to go off on his own, he'll go off with my blessing. Let's see. Why don't you have a family dog? One word, wife. Um, and it's not just her. I'm not blaming her. Dogs are a responsibility, and I'm not comparing dogs to children, so nobody say that. I'm just saying we have 7 children already. They're a lot of work. Some of them are still, young enough where they are, a bunch of work still. So having a family dog and that added responsibility, like I'm not coming home after work and picking up the dog's poop. I don't want my kids running outside and bare feet and like squishing in the dog's poop. I wouldn't necessarily want a dog either right now at this stage in life. Obviously, some of my kids are getting older, and hopefully, some will get married and move out of the house. And when things settle down, when we get a little older, I am sure at some point we will definitely get a dog. Just not right here. I didn't blame my wife. I just said I don't want to do that either. So no, I didn't just blame her, but she won't have any of it either. Jada is the best dog. Jade is she's maturing. She's getting a little older now, and she's settling down. So she's really becoming a good dog. She was getting on my nerves sometimes. Some mornings, the jumping was just getting like it was getting ridiculous. But she's getting a little older now, and she's starting to understand we don't want her to jump, and she's getting way better where she's just starting to chill out. Mustang. So I got the Mustang back, and Nate the Great, he fixed it up. However, it has a little bit of a miss. So basically, it breaks up a little bit. I think we're dropping down to 7 cylinders at certain points. So I want to get that looked at. It's something in the ignition. It's pretty obvious. It's probably I would bet it's probably just a spark plug because we do some polls with it. I don't show everything, but I do some polls with it. I'll hit that rev limiter. Trust me, it'll be bouncing. So it probably needs some plugs, I would guess. Um, but so I haven't been driving it recently. Well, I've been on vacation, so I haven't been driving it. But I just gotta get that fixed real quick. Shouldn't be a big deal. You can tell it's an ignition problem though. How many more years can you see yourself pouring concrete? Ever concerned about the toll on your body? Um, Believe it or not, I'm 46 years old and I'm still overweight. I lost a bunch of weight. I lost 40 pounds already this year. But I still honestly I feel pretty good. I always make a joke say I feel fresh. I actually do feel pretty fresh. My body, my knees, my back, I've had recurring problems with my back through the years. I'll get the sciatica and it'll last a couple months and it'll go away. During those time periods, you think your back is done, like it's never coming back because you're in so much pain. I've had a few of those times in my life, but it does. It's come back and it's been good now for like, I don't know, a few years. I had the trouble with my neck. Was that last year, 2 years ago? I talked about it just a few times on my channel. I had a pinched nerve in my neck, but overall, I feel fine. I don't really think about retiring yet. I'm only 46. I think I have a good bunch of years. I think I have a solid decade of hard work left in me. After I hit my mid 50s, I think I'll probably end up maybe slowing down a little bit. That's a long time from now. I have no idea how things are going to look in 10 years. No clue whatsoever. Hopefully I even live that long. Who knows? So, yeah, I think I have a good 10 years of hard work left in me. Back is 100% weight related until it isn't. Yeah, I haven't always been overweight. Even when I was skinny, I had kind of the same aches and pains as I do now. So I don't know. Wow, somebody wrote like massive caps. Kyle Maynard, what's up? Shout out to Kyle Maynard. He said, please shout me out. So there you go. Victory fresh, yes. Very, very fresh. Love all the jealous haters in here. I didn't really see any hateful comments recently, but there always is. There's always people like that. Actually, tomorrow on the video, I read an email from a hater. It's just a short email, but we have some fun with that. I regularly get emails from people, and they're telling me I can't do this. They've been telling me for years now, pretty much since I started on social media, I can't do it this way, and it's gonna blow up on you, and that's gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And so far, man, it's like they're 100% wrong on every single one of their predictions. and I predict that they will continue to be 100% wrong. So I just kind of laugh at them. You know, the main reason you have haters is because here's the real reason: people are jealous. They are jealous. You have something that they want, and they're too lazy to go get it on their own. Most of the time, that's what it is. And then, secondly, people are miserable and they just can't stand other people like enjoying their lives and laughing and joking and doing well and being successful. And when they're miserable, it absolutely drives them crazy. And the only thing that they are willing to do, because they're not willing to do anything about themselves or work on themselves to bring themselves up and to be successful themselves, the only thing that they're willing to do, and all too willing to do, is to try to drag other people down into their miserable condition so they can have company. They just want other people to feel as bad as they do. And unfortunately, in most of the cases, it doesn't have to be that way. I understand some people, you know, have physical conditions and illnesses. Like I get that, but most of the time, it has nothing to do with that. The people are just lazy. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to get out there and hustle. They don't want to make a change in their own lives. They don't. They don't want to work harder. They don't want to do any side hustles and make money and you know and change themselves. They would rather just hate on other people. That's really the only way that they can find enjoyment, I guess, if you want to call it that. You know, entertainment or enjoyment. So if I'm able to provide the entertainment by people hating on me, go ahead and leave your comments. But like I said before, I think I have one of the most positive audiences on all of YouTube. The vast majority, almost all of you are just like super awesome, very encouraging, and I appreciate each of you. So, you know, every once in a while, you know, over there in the comments section, I don't know what side it is or where you're watching it on your screen. Every once in a while, you'll get those, but you know, for the most part, you know, it is what I just said. You know, in a certain sense, I kind of feel bad for them. You know, pity, I guess, is the word. You know, that people are as miserable as they are, but hey, most of the time they're doing it to themselves. So let them have at it. It's never going to stop. You know, you're never going to stop it. One of the things that I talked to Eric about this, I was like, Eric, dude, you can't just like go back and forth with the haters in the comment section because all you're doing is you're just providing fuel for their fire. So if somebody writes a negative comment and like for instance, if I would directly address them, you know, and go back and forth with them, like they're winning. Like that's what they want. So you're just giving them the W. You know, I told Eric, I was like, knock it off, dude. Don't be fighting with the haters in the comment section. Just let it go. Like, who cares? Like, you got to remember, like, like this is a long game. You know, it's you're not playing like every day. You're gonna get on this emotional level with these people. Just look right past them. Like, look to your goals. Look to the future. Like, look right over the top of that negativity, and you stay positive and just fly over the top of all that and you just be successful and you know you can stack them haters and you know just wear your haters like a trophy, you know. Just that's how I think of it, man. Who cares? What's going on, Noah? Oh, the merch, I explained this earlier. I'm losing my voice, guys. I'm gonna have to go like really soon. I don't know how long it's been. Whoa, it's always, this time always goes fast, but I did explain that a little earlier. I had problems with the website. They had to write some more code, which unfortunately cost me like a lot of extra money. People that write code, they charge a lot of money because they know that you have no idea how to write code, and they do, and you have no option but to pay them to do that because they are super smart people, and you are not super smart when it comes to that. So that's what's up with that. So all right, guys, I gotta go. I'm losing my voice. I just wanted to say what's up to all of you. It's been a little bit. I wanted to say hi since we're back from our vacation. Just let you know we had a great time. Appreciate all of you guys. And video coming out tomorrow at 7 a.m. One from Junior Style, one from me. So look forward to that. And I will see you guys then. All right. Adios.